What's going on, everyone? This is Jacob Amaral here. In today's video, we're going to be using TradingView to automatically send signals to an Interactive Brokers account that then submits a trade through Interactive Brokers. So we're going to be connecting TradingView with Interactive Brokers so that all the logic for the entries and exits is handled on TradingView, and we simply just submit the orders on our Interactive Brokers account. So before we get started, there's going to be a couple requirements. You're going to need a Interactive Brokers account and TWS, which is their software to look at your trades, downloaded on your computer. You're going to need a TradingView account with one of their paid subscriptions. The only way to send alerts is to use their paid subscription. So you would need a TradingView account with one of their monthly subscriptions. You can probably just get the cheapest one. And then you'll also need Python in your computer. We're going to be using Python to build this application. And we're going to need a couple libraries, mainly ngrok to handle the port forwarding and Sanic to handle the web hosting. So I'll go in details on how to set that up. There'll also be a GitHub repository in the description below if you want to check that out. But anyways, this is going to be a full-on tutorial on how to connect TradingView with Interactive Brokers so you can automate trades. Let's get started. All right, so let's get started on how to code this. So first off, we're going to create a new Python project. I'm using Visual Studio here. You can choose any IDE of your choice. So I'm just going to select Python project and go to next. Let's call this Interactive Brokers TradingView bot. Let's do that. And this is going to create a empty Python application for us. Okay, so we're going to need a couple. We're going to need a couple libraries. I have them installed already, but the main ones you're going to need are IB InSync, and this Python package allows us to interact with Interactive Brokers and submit trades and get all of our accounts and handle that connection. We're going to need Sanic to host the web server, and we're going to need ngrok to port forward the alerts from TradingView to our local computer. Okay. So I'm going to grab my glasses here because I can barely see. All right. So we have our Python file here. You're going to need to install a couple packages here. So what you can do is do this. I'll have a requirements file, so you can just do pip install /r requirements.txt. That'll probably work if you clone this project. But you're going to need IB InSync, Sanic, and ngrok. Actually, ngrok you don't really need to install in your Python file, but let's do our imports first. So we'll be using datetime for sure. I already have this built out. I'm just, rewriting the code with you guys so you can see how it works. We'll need Sanic, which is our web host. And we'll interact with ngrok and TradingView. So we'll need a response. And then we'll need IB InSync as well. So you'll need to install these. You'll need to have obviously Python installed on your device, and you'll basically have to do pip install Sanic, which I already have it, right? And then pip install is it IB_InSync? Yeah. So you'll need to do those two as well to get that working. Okay, so now we're going to create our Sanic object. And we're going to name it app. Okay, and Sanic turns our Python application into a web server so we can listen to outside requests. Okay. And then we're going to set our IB instance to or we're going to set it as a variable called app.ib. So I'm just going to set it to none for now, just to blank it out. So after that, we're going to create our root, our home page essentially. So we're going to do app.route. So it's going to be the root directory, which is just a /. And because we're using Sanic, we can use the async term. And we pass in a request to each root. And we'll just return that we're online. Okay. All right. And then we're going to need to actually run the app. So let's make this better. Homepage, and then run app. Did I do that right? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so app.run port is equal to 5,000. Excuse me. Okay, so now when we run this application, we should be able to go to localhost 5000, and it will say online. So now our web server is running. Awesome. Okay, so the next step is let's connect. Let's set up our IB connection. So you'll have to have TWS running here, and TWS is their application for Interactive Brokers to handle your positions and stuff like that. So you'll have to download that. You can use IB Gateway as well, but if you're a beginner, I recommend using TWS because then you can see the front end user interface and see your positions in your accounts. So you'll have to download that, and you'll have to enable some API settings. So once you download TWS, you can pause the video if you don't have it downloaded. But once you download it, you have to go to File here at the top left and set up your API settings. So File, Global Configuration. You want to go to API here and go to Settings. You want to make sure Enable ActiveX and Socket Clients is checked. You want to make sure Read-Only API is unchecked, and be aware of your socket port because that's going to be the one to go live. By default, with a paper account, which is not real money, it's $74.96, and then I think with a live account, it's $74.97. Okay. So you want to make sure these are set, hit apply and OK, and make sure it's running in the background. And then we're going to use IB and Sync to connect. So before we run the app, we're going to connect to IB. So we want to do app.ib is equal to IB instantiate a class from IB and Sync. And then we're going to call app.ib.connect. We're just going to connect to the local host because it's running on our local PC. So 7496 and client ID of 1. All right. So now when I rerun the app and I go back to TWS, at the top left here, you'll see a green data. I'll click data and you'll see that we have an API connection. Okay. Perfect. Now I want to make a reconnect method because in case we lose connection to IB, we want the bot to automatically reconnect. So let's create a reconnect method. Reconnect. Oh, I should probably zoom in. I apologize. There we go. Reconnect to IB if needed. So we'll do, I think we did asynchronous on this, right? Yeah. Async definition check if reconnect. So if we're not connected, oh sorry, it's app.ib is connected. Or I found that this app.ib.is connected doesn't handle all scenarios, so I'm going to add an or statement here saying or not ib or app.ib.client is connected. So if it's not connected, we're going to, technically we don't need to disconnect, but just to be safe, we're going to call it app.ib.disconnect. And then we're going to instantiate, we're going to reset the IB variable and attempt to reconnect. And we're going to call this anytime we try and submit right before we submit an order, so we can, we make sure we always have a nice fresh connection. So I'll just copy that. Perfect. Okay. So now we can call check if reconnect anytime we want, and it will attempt to reconnect. Okay. So the fun part, the next step is setting up our TradingView signals to send alerts to our computer, and then listening to those signals to submit the trade. So the next step, you're going to need a TradingView account. So if you're watching this video, I'm sure you know what TradingView is, but basically it's a charting platform that can be used. And one of the benefits of TradingView is here I have Bitcoin USD pop up, but you can actually create alerts, right? And these alerts can send you a message, they can email you, but you can also send them to basically a web address, right? So I typed in, you can type in a symbol here, for example, Bitcoin, obviously, and pulls up the chart. And then at the top left here, you'll see plus alert. Now, when you click this and you have a free account, it's probably going to tell you that you need to, upgrade. So you will have to have the paid account to do this. But what you want to do is, from here, you can create an alert based on anything, right? In this example, it'd be creating an alert for Bitcoin if it crosses a value of, 4,600, Now, you might want to make it more robust. You could add indicators if you wanted to. So let's add an indicator and say, RSI, right? And now we can create an alert with the RSI, right? So if RSI crosses a value of, cross up a value of 30, for example. That would be one example of maybe a more sophisticated alert. But to keep it simple for now, just so I can show you, we'll say, Bitcoin is greater than 30. Okay. Now here you'll want to set your webhook URL, and this URL will be auto-generated by ngrok. I blanked it out because obviously I don't want to show it, but this will basically send the alert to your local PC where the bot's going to be running, and then allows us to listen for that alert and submit the trade. Okay. So I already have an existing alert here that I've been using. I have my webhook URL, and then right here, the message. This is really important. So you can send anything you want. You could just send, test. But with TradingView, if you see these double curly braces, it will actually autofill the variable, right? So if you do double quotes or double curly braces ticker, it will automatically put the symbol. In this case, Bitcoin USD. If you do double curly brace close, it'll submit the close price. You can click this question mark here, and it'll tell you all the variables that you can use. So I have a couple filled out. I have symbol, I have price, I have time frame, and stuff like that. So that's my alert. So let's talk about how do you get this webhook URL? How do you set this up? Okay. So we're going to be using ngrok to listen basically to port forward our alerts. Okay. So I already have it running here. So ngrok is a port forwarding service. To set that up, you want to go to ngrok.io. Make a free account. It's free. I recommend it because if you don't, I think your server restarts every 8 or so hours. So make an account. And I already have it. So I made an account. And for Windows, if you're a Windows user, what I did was I clicked download for Windows. It generates a zip file, right? And then I just extracted that zip file and then ran the executable, okay? So let me do that again. So I downloaded the zip, and then I extracted it. So you'll see ngrok stable Windows AMD 64. You just run the exe. And if you have Mac or Linux, they obviously have other instructions, but this will run the exe, and then you'll have an auth token, right? So this auth token will authorize you. So I would just copy this code here. Don't copy the // I think you just need ngrok auth token. And it'll say auth token saved to configuration file. Perfect. and then you type in ngrok HTTP, and then I would use port 5000, and then we'll start ngrok and basically start port forwarding your any request to that. So you'll get a URL here. So you'll see account version region web interface forwarding. So this first forwarding one, you can use either or, but you want to copy that and then paste that here as a webhook URL. Okay. Now one more step. That would go to our root directory, right? So if we get an alert, what's going to happen is it's going to go to here, and this root function is going to get called. So I don't want to do that because I want to keep that separate, just so we know it's the homepage and online. So I'm going to paste the URL in here and then do / webhook, and we'll make a webhook listener. Okay, webhook. There we go, and hit save. Okay, so now we have any alerts port forwarded to our local computer. And now the next step is just submit an order on you can see it already, submitted, not found. It's 404 not found because we haven't made the route yet. So let's go back to our Python application here, and let's make a webhook route. Listen for signals and submit orders. So I'm going to do app.route, / webhook. Oh, if I can spell correctly. And then we're going to make an asynchronous function. I'll just call it webhook. And it's going to take a request. Oh, and I think we need to say we're using, because it's going to be a post method. The signals are always a post method. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so if we're receiving a post method, which is different from a get method, first, before we submit any orders, I want to check if we need to reconnect. So check if we need to reconnect, because I don't want a signal to come in and then the order doesn't submit because our IB connection is lost, right? So I'm going to await check if reconnect. And that will call this method and reconnect if we have to, right? Now we're going to parse the signal data. And it's going to be as JSON. And then we're going to start building our order. So we're going to make an order variable is equal to market order. We'll just do a simple buy one market order for now, quantity of 1, and the account will be our, you can have multiple accounts with IB linked together. So I'll just do our first account, our default account. So app.ib.wrapper.accounts at 0. And this would be your default account. So we're going to submit a market order to default or primary account. Okay. And then we're going to create a contract, and this allows us to specify the symbol. Now, I was trying to submit orders with cryptocurrencies because IB's API does support cryptocurrencies. I couldn't get it to work. I maybe could spend more time on it, but for some reason, the order would successfully submit, but I wouldn't see it in the TWS. So I will leave that in the comments. I'll leave this as commented code, but I could not get it to work. So if you did get it to work, please leave a comment below in YouTube to let me know what you did, because I tried and it was not working. So I'll just do a simple, we'll do a stock, we'll do the S&P 500 ETF, SPY. The exchange, you can use SMART, and then the currency is USD. Okay. Now, this is what I was trying. So if you can figure this out, bonus points to you and let me know a comment. But I was trying to do crypto. So you would do crypto. And then I was passing my my symbol variable, right? Because data symbol, right? This is from this message, right? We're sending it as JSON. So we have symbol as JSON. That's the variable. That's the key. And then the value, right? Which would be Bitcoin USD. So what I was trying was data at symbol, and then I was getting the first 3 characters, which would be Bitcoin, BTC. And then the exchange for crypto on Interactive Brokers, it's Paxos, Paxos. And then for the currency, it was the last 3 symbols. So it'd be data at symbol. And then I think I was trying, I think it was 4 to 6. And that would be USD, right? Now this wasn't working for me, so I'm just leaving it as a commented code for now. But if you can get it working, let me know in the comments below, and I can update the GitHub repository. But anyways, we'll do it with SPY for now. So that'll make our contract, and then all we have to do is place the order. So we're going to do app.ib.place order. We're going to pass in our contract and our order. Okay. So now what's going to happen is we're going to enable the alert on TradingView. ngrok is running here, right? It's going to forward any alerts to localhost /webhook. And then we're going to listen to that webhook and submit an order. Okay. So I'm going to restart the Python application because we've written a lot of new code. Route method. Oh, sorry, it's methods with an S. My fault. Let's rerun that. And I'm just gonna maybe put a breakpoint here to make sure we know it's getting called. Okay, so Python application is running. Let's close that. Okay, you'll say going fast, listening on port 5000. We have ngrok, which will forward any requests to our Python application. Let's hop back to TradingView. Let's do edit, make sure our webhook URL is the same, right? It's whatever code ngrok sent. And then we always make sure to add a /webhook at the end of it because we're specifying. Okay. Make sure our message is good. All that's good to go. So yeah, I know I'm submitting the alert on Bitcoin, but I'm submitting an order for SPY. Once again, that was because I couldn't get Bitcoin working. But if you could, let me know. So this is once again just showing you that you can connect TradingView with that. So if Bitcoin is less than 48,000, it's going to submit a webhook. So I'm going to hit save. So now you'll see that the order or the alert is active. It triggered. Awesome. So now you see that my breakpoint hit. It got called. ngrok posted to webhook. If it's blank, that means it's good. We got a request. So if request.method is equal to post, it is. We're going to await, check if reconnect. If we need to reconnect, let's see, are we connected? We are, yeah, so that should be good. Okay, let's go forward. Data is equal to request.json. You can see, there we go. We have our price, our symbol, our time frame. We're going to create a market order with SPY on our default account, and then we're going to place the order. So let's continue. Order's been placed. Let's check IB. And bam, we have a market order for SPY submitted today. Today is Saturday, so it's not going to get filled until Monday. But there you have it. There we have TradingView connected with Interactive Brokers. And basically all the entries and exits are handled on TradingView, and we just submit the orders locally on our computer. Now you can take this a step further. You can set up your own website where you have a web dashboard with Interactive Brokers, which I'll do a future video on. And that would be really cool to have your own website, and then TradingView sends the alerts to that. In that case, you wouldn't need ngrok. You'd have to use more of either Apache or Nginx to handle the port forwarding. But you could do that. You could have a live website with Interactive Brokers running on TradingView. In this example, is just submitting it to your local computer. So there you have it. We fully connected TradingView with Interactive Brokers, where we can do alerts, we can submit orders, and you can make this a lot more powerful. You can, set the alerts to, you can make these alerts a lot more complex. This is a very simple example, but you can add multiple indicators. You can even do, alerts based on multiple symbols, pair trading, that sort of stuff. So in this example, I was just showing you that, Bitcoin is less than this price, but you can do a lot more stuff. They have thousands of indicators that you can use. And this will save you a lot of time in coding, because you can just set the alerts up in TradingView with their interface. It's super easy to use, and then submit the orders on your end. So there you have it. TradingView, Interactive Brokers, Python, Sanic, ngrok. decent application, right? So in the comments below or in the description below, I have the GitHub for this project. I hope you found this video enjoyable, valuable. If you did, please leave a comment below and a like. I would really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week for another video. Peace out, guys.